Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 51. It's Sunday, so we've got Partially Proficient on here with us, and yeah, let's get into it. How you doing?
You know me. I'm doing all right. Had a little bit of a mix-up in my life. Different hours I had to hold for a while there, but I'm getting back to my normal schedule again, a little bit back to routine.
That's good. It's always good to kind of get back into a flow.
Well, you know how I am in general. I'm a creature of habit. I like to do the same things, keep the same schedule. It just makes me comfortable. So
I hate that.
No, you got.
I need
Fuck do you mean?
Every day needs to be a little different.
You live in a fucking cave.
Sure.
Oh, don't tell me fucking different.
Don't come at me.
You haven't moved fucking 5 feet from the last time I saw you.
Yeah, like the only time. Like, there's no. Listen, I want to tell you something that happened to me.
Go ahead and give me it.
So I got a review the other day.
Mm-hmm.
4 stars, which is fine. Listen.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
very open to 4-star reviews if there's good feedback.
Yeah, if there's a reason.
But the reason that it got 4 stars was because the box took a little damage during shipping.
That's the post office.
The product was fine,
mm-hmm.
but the box did took a little damage.
That's the post office.
Correct.
It's not you.
That has nothing to do with me. So that put me into a bit of a rage.
Yeah, I know you. I know that's gonna fucking.
Because I can't do anything about that.
I know.
Like,
yeah, there's no fucking change in your service you can make.
Right. If they were like, oh, like I've had people before be like, oh, hey, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, let me make a change and I'll send you another one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it's a legitimate concern. But the box got to knock a star off.
Right.
For something that has nothing to do with me.
It's hurtful. It's not right.
No, and I get so angry. I'm like, I'm never going to sell to this person again.
You're blacklisted, you piece of shit.
But they're not. Like, I understand. Like, they were like, oh, it's a birthday present for...
Yeah, they might have been a little upset.
So it's like, I understand.
Right.
But it hurts because it's like, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right, yeah, and at the end of the day, that's your brand. So, like, any sort of, like, damage to that hurts,
Right, and they put a picture up of the damaged box. But they did say in the review, they were like, the product is amazing.
Good,
right?
Good.
And it's just like, is the box that important to really, like, take a swipe at me?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. So
it's
that happened. So that really bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
I was really bothered by that.
Oh,
yeah.
A little fucking extra enunciation on that one.
Give you the B. But yeah, so you had a change in your routine. You're coming back into regular life.
Yeah. So
how's your headspace?
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Relatively healthy. I mean, like, for my own self,
Yeah, it's
grading on the scale.
Yeah. I mean, the sun, it's getting nice out.
Right. It's the weather and everything. It's a good time of year.
Yeah.
So one thing is, getting back to my routine, a little change in my life happening, and went out to celebrate with the old wife.
Oh, it's always
went
nice.
to catch a movie.
Oh, I like movies.
I know. So this is something I've been looking forward to. I probably mentioned it half a dozen times in previous episodes. Big on the horror movies.
Love horror.
Yeah, it's my go-to thing. So,
dude, A24 is my jam.
Oh, they're fantastic. A24 is incredible. This is not them, however. So I went out to see a little indie film.
Oh, a little indie film, you say?
Yeah, little small budget film, Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, yeah, a little indie film, eh?
I mean, they started there.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I love all things Evil Dead.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love them.
How was it?
So, I've been really trying to analyze in my head where I would put it.
Yeah.
Because I know I have a bias towards it just because it's Evil Dead, and I have a bias towards it because it's recent. The most recent thing you saw that was, like, really good.
Right, in a franchise that you care about.
Rates higher in your head than maybe it deserves.
Sure. Which speaks volumes to Rings of Power, but go ahead.
Yeah. I think if I were to remove the recency bias and the fact that I love it because it's Evil Dead,
right,
It's a solid 85 out of 100.
That's a pretty high score. Now, I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, because it seems like, because in the last iteration, it was kind of more horror than camp.
Right.
Do they continue that with this new film?
I would put it like this, and not to get into the fucking weeds of Evil Dead for anyone in the audience who isn't into the franchise. In the original trilogy of the Evil Dead movies, they kind of made a slow transition from horror to camp.
Because Evil Dead 1 is horror.
Evil Dead 1 is a horror movie.
Evil Dead 2 is horror, and then it
has camp elements.
I would say, like, after the break where, like, you have the deer and everything, and that's when it starts to become truly camp.
Yeah, so I think the new movies they're making follow that same formula.
Really?
Yeah, so this is...
Because the new Evil Dead is horror.
Yeah, the Evil Dead remake was
straight horror. Yeah.
This is horror that has baked in a few camp elements.
Okay, so it's starting to transition again.
Right.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, I like both identities.
So how was the because obviously the main demon is a female in this one, and she looks scary as fuck.
Yeah, the actress, I wish I could, I'm terrible with actors and actresses' names. So I couldn't remember who's who, but no, the woman who plays the mother in the movie does a really good job.
Yeah, because everything I've seen is like chill you to the bone type of shit.
And there's more. I without going into details.
Yeah,
this isn't a single Deadite movie.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh no, there's.
I thought it was. I thought they were just trapped in the apartment building.
There is a multitude of Deadites.
Very cool.
Movie, and
very cool.
It hits all the elements that make an Evil Dead movie an Evil Dead movie. It's got the entity point of view. It's got the hyper violence, the very cringe-inducing injuries.
Do they do anything with the blood where it's like almost cartoonish though? Because that's
of course.
All right. I need that.
Of course,
I need a little cartoonish blood.
It fountains of it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It references the older movies. It references outside horror franchises.
So decent amount of heart.
Oh yeah, it was very, very fucking good.
Did you have a good time?
Of course, I had a fucking good time.
Right. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, I would watch it again tomorrow.
Wow.
Which is unusual for me. I'm not big
you're not
on
a big fan of rewatch.
No, but for this, I'd make an
like
exception.
Lord of the Rings, obviously.
Yeah, typically my top franchises are the only ones that I can rewatch, and I would put this in there.
How are they with like practical effects versus CGI?
I think it's
mostly practical.
Mostly practical.
That's
yeah,
huge.
I'm really trying to think of.
The franchise has always been very, very practical effect.
It's still there.
That's insane.
It knows what it is.
Yeah,
it's not trying to do anything different or new. I mean, outside of its own franchise, it's.
Right, but I don't want it to do that. I want it to be Evil Dead.
It keeps its identity.
Perfect.
Entirely.
That's what I want.
Like, if I remove the title screen from this and I show this to someone, they didn't know the name of the movie, they'd be like, oh, that was an Evil Dead movie.
Right.
Like, you just know.
It looks good. And I mean, it's got Bruce Campbell's blessing, right? So
it does. He has a little tiny cameo.
Oh, I love him.
Movie.
I love him. So you give it an absolute watch.
Oh, yeah. Okay. A huge recommendation from me.
It was on the list anyway, but Yeah. I do. I love my Evil Dead.
Give it a go.
So it's interesting. So I was talking to Jim about this. We watched that TV show on Netflix called Beef. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's like Ali Wong and Stephen Ewan, who was in The Walking Dead. He played Glenn.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically about like road rage, and they, it was really good, very solid. So Netflix, Netflix likes to put their stamp on shit, but it's not actually their thing.
Yeah.
So we watched that. That was very enjoyable. And then she wanted to watch, there's another one on Netflix that just came out, a limited series called Florida Man.
Okay.
And initially I was like, this really isn't my shit. And then I caught the preview, and it's like wild shit.
Okay.
So we watched it, and it's interesting because it's got a very dark... It's dark comedy, right? But it's got almost like a mischievous vibe, too. So I'm enjoying that, right?
Cool.
So she made me watch 3 episodes of that in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm a little older these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get tired.
Yeah, I was pretty tired. So.
Yeah. Oh.
Very tasty.
Good sip, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Summer.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready for bed.
Yep.
And she says, like, all right, I'm going to throw a movie on. I said, okay.
Sure. And this is directly after having a 3-episode fucking...
Yeah, because she works like second shift.
Yeah,
so like
a lot of fucking screen time in a row.
But the thing is that she works second shift. So like by midnight, I'm done.
Yeah, she's still just getting into her day.
Right. So, and you know, she can't, what is she going to do? It's late. Like, it's not like she can do anything else but watch TV.
Sure.
So she's like, I'm going to watch a horror movie.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, cool. But don't watch anything that's going to scare you too bad because I don't want to deal with it.
Right. You don't need to deal with the fucking fallout or whatever.
Because, like, horror movies don't do that to me. I don't know if they do it to you at all. Like,
it takes a true classic to really...
Maybe even just give you a vibe. But, like, I'm sleeping after anything.
And I'm talking about, like, the last one would have to be... what was that? What was a movie with the fucking... Hereditary. There it is.
Yeah, but even that like, you couldn't sleep after that?
And no, I'm talking like it gives me pause to sleep. Well,
Not
like
me.
I'll think about it as I'm going to sleep. Ooh, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, I thought it was creepy, and I was like, wow,
I'll still sleep, but it maybe takes me a little longer. I won't lie to people.
Okay.
But that's where that line
like it might
starts.
take you a little longer.
And that's where the line starts is hereditary and scary. Right.
Yeah. So she decides to put this movie on, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I've become quite a fan of Jewish horror. So I've seen like 3 or 4 of them now, and it's generally when like the either the monster or the entity is of, you know, from the Jewish religion. Okay. And I got to tell you, it's creepy because you get the same, you know what it is? You get the same vibes of like an Exorcist.
Like the Christian horror type movies, that exorcism deals.
But the thing is because I'm not Jewish, I'm not familiar as much. Okay. So it's like almost watching The Exorcist for the first time again type of thing. Right. So it's, you know, there's
more of an air mystery to it because everyone's familiar with the Christian horror shit by this
and
point,
it's all, you know, it's all a Judeo-Christian God type of thing, so it all kind of blends easy enough.
The rules are a little different, I guess, probably.
Well, yeah, of course, but like, you know, it feels familiar, but it's different enough to kind of, you know,
I get what you're talking about.
I haven't watched one I didn't like yet. They're varying degrees of good or bad, but overall they're pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah. So she decides to put this one on called The Offering.
Oh, The Offering.
Yeah. And you know, without getting into it too much, the gist is just basically, you know, demon stealing babies, that type of shit.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you know, typical demon
That's
shit.
what they do.
And I was into it for the first, like, 45 minutes. Like, I was into it. I liked it. But then, again, I'm older. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to drift.
Right. You're, like, can't keep yourself up.
It's scary, but it's not enough to make me stay awake.
Okay.
You know? So I put my headphones on, because I always need noise to shut my brain off when I sleep. So I put my headphones on and I start putting on... I fall asleep to scary stories sometimes. Yeah. You know, I put the scary stories on to fall asleep. Dr. Creepin', I don't know if you've ever... Yeah, I like him.
Little Dr. Creepin'.
Yeah, I like a little Dr. Creepin'.
All right.
Threw something on there and I start Morpheus gives me his embrace. Oh. But my partner's not having that because my partner is terrified.
She needs you to be awake to experience it.
So she keeps asking... She keeps, like, tapping me and like I'll just like Morpheus and I just start kissing. And she'll start tapping me. Be like, "Hey babe."
Just breaking you away from his embrace.
Right. And so now I gotta wake up. And so I finally committed to my fate of not being able to sleep.
You're gonna have to watch this.
So we watched the whole thing, right? And it was good. Like I said, very enjoyable. Jewish horror is very scary. They do a very good job. I enjoyed it. Not a happy ending, which I like that in horror movies.
Yeah.
And so it was over, and I was like, okay, are you good? You know, Are you okay to? And it was my fault, right? She's like, why are you mad? I'm like, because I'm old and tired.
Yeah, because you're a tired old man.
Right. Like I'm cranky because I want to go to fucking sleep. Mm-hmm. So after it's all over, I said to her, I was like, all right, are we good? Like, are we done? She's like, yeah, I'm just going to watch something else. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, sometimes a wise move
right.
to unwind.
I was like, why don't you watch something light?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I drift off to dreamland.
Good.
5 a.m. I wake up.
Oh.
And I look.
It's a little rough.
I look over, and there she is, wide awake.
Oh, wow. And it got her good,
it ruined her sleep. And I just look at her, and I'm still kind of tired. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And she's like, I can't sleep.
Damn.
Yeah. So the offering, if you're
just
interested.
really got her.
Yeah, it wasn't that scary, but like it got her. I don't know.
That's funny. God damn.
Not funny to me.
No, I didn't have to deal with it. So, it's easier for me.
I want to talk about one more real quick.
All right. Hit me with it.
So,
no movie?
No. I'm going to shift gear. I like to start the episodes by talking about things we've seen or done.
Sure.
So I've mentioned this on the podcast before. Bramble and the Mountain King.
Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
It is phenomenal.
Really?
It's so good. It came out. Now, I haven't beat it yet. Okay. There is combat in it. Not enough, in my opinion.
Okay.
However, I would call it a dark fairy tale, not a horror.
Cool.
But there are moments that had me fucking terrified. Like, I was so stressed out. I paused the game at one point, and I was like, this should not be getting me as much as it is.
Oh, it's got you with the tension.
Yes. It is so Norwegian fairy tales, right?
Yeah.
And it basically, the gist of it is, it's a brother and a sister, right?
Okay.
And they sneak out into the forest at night. And the mother's like, don't do that.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, of course. And you basically come into contact with these different entities from,
Yeah, Norwegian folklore,
exactly,
like you said. Yep.
Exactly. But what I like about it is this. You learn about them via storybook after you get through it.
Okay.
Which is incredible. Because, I think I showed you a clip with the swamp guy.
Yeah, you showed me that.
You don't know what his deal is until
until he's already done and dealt with.
Until you get through the section, and then the narrator will read you the book, and it's just like, oh my Lord.
Oh, just contextualizes it.
It is so atmospheric. The graphics are fantastic. It's probably more of a platformer than like a combat game, but there is combat.
That's fine. I like a platformer.
It's on sale right now. It's $25 on Steam and all the consoles. I think it's absolutely worth the price. I like to support indie developers.
Good.
And
it's the way to be.
It is just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I've been more into the indie games lately anyways.
How many dark fantasy games, like true, and I'm not talking about like, how many dark fantasy games do we have?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you slice that.
Like? It feels like a Brothers Grimm-esque fable.
See, that's where I think the distinction lies.
Yeah.
If you're talking fantasy, like dark fairy tale kind of games.
Yeah, that's more what it feels like.
Right. 'Cause dark fantasy, you can then wrap in like all the Souls-type games.
Right, that's a bad terminology. But it feels like a fable.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like it's a different aesthetic. It's not what you get every single day, and that can just be refreshing sometimes.
The pace is, a little different, right? But
is it like long or?
So I like I said, I haven't gotten through it completely yet, but I'm probably about like 3 hours in so far.
Right.
And I've thoroughly enjoyed the entire. It's probably like an 8 or 10 hour game.
Now, I know there's been some other stuff you've been playing lately. I think we might save that for cut corners later. But
yeah, we'll have to save that for the cut
There's
corners.
been some other games that I think you and I need to talk about.
Yeah, I've leaned into my degeneracy.
Because we're both into the indie scene.
Yeah, I really, like, you know me. Like, I always like to support local and small,
sure,
because there's just
small team
there's
projects.
a level of, I guess, love, for lack of a better word, that goes into a lot of this stuff.
Right.
That you don't get.
Well, it's more personal,
Sure.
You just have one or two people with an idea. They want to put it out into the world.
But they care about it. It's not so much the money. It's like, hey, look, we really love this thing.
Right. This is just some crazy idea that they had that they want to make real.
Yeah, I'm very much about, small business.
You gotta love it.
Oh,
It's good.
I do. It's a chef's kiss.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little gesture there with it too, huh?
I want to shift gears, though.
Oh, once again. All right.
I want to shift gears completely. We've moved on a little bit from things we've enjoyed. I'm having trouble right now with my mental health.
Yeah, what else is new? That's the bog standard of knowing
Let me explain.
Okay.
The headlines are getting so cartoonish at this point.
See, here's the thing.
Okay.
They've been fucking insane for a while.
Okay.
Like, I want to remind you that we're going through the year where, like, it was like, yeah, aliens are a thing.
Yeah, the trees can understand you.
The government is a farce.
Yeah.
God, Google has a rogue AI in its
possibly
offices.
Sentient AI they have locked in their offices.
Yeah, but all right, hit me with like where. Now it's a bridge too far again.
All right, so I want to start with a gentleman, and I'll use his quote unquote name.
Okay.
Arthur Knight. You know about him?
Sir Arthur Knight.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He might tell you he's a sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to add
So this dude, right?
Yeah.
Is apparently, his real name is apparently Nicholas Oliverian.
Ooh.
And he's a 35-year-old man.
Okay.
From Rhode Island.
Oh.
He's an East Coast boy.
The good old US of A.
Yeah.
Our stomping grounds.
Who flew over to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly decided it would be a good idea to rape a few people.
Yeah, well, that's never a good idea.
No, but
you can't be doing that.
He said, you know what? I'm going to rape.
Yeah, all right, well.
So he did his raping.
Okay.
And then he flew back to Rhode Island.
Sure.
Awful story.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit from what I'm hearing so far.
And so far, pretty vanilla. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, piece of shit does piece of shit things.
Yeah, unfortunately, all too common.
Right. Where it becomes a cartoon.
Yeah, where does this go off the rails to being, out of this world for you?
In his infinite wisdom.
Uh-huh.
He said, I don't want to go to jail for my rapes.
No, who would?
Sure. Like, in what society can a man not rape? That's his thought process.
Yeah, that's him. That's your fucking dramatization of his
very
internal.
Much not into rape. I think it's awful. He said, you know what I have to do?
What's he have to do?
I have to fake my death.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you do that.
It is a very TV show like decision. Like, I don't know how often I hear about people faking their own death in reality.
Right? How do you do that? Like I know, listen, I can tell you how you do it, but I'm saying, like, how does an average person fake their own death? Like, you need a body, you need dental records to be falsified. Like, there is a lot that goes into faking a death.
Like, look, I guess it depends on how realistic you want to look, or...
I mean, if I'm faking mine...
I know you'd go real over the top. It's the way that you are.
I had all my teeth pulled out and my fucking...
I don't know. I imagine, like, if you just fucking... You wanted to do something, you could leave a suicide note and then fucking send your car off into the fucking
into the water or something. Okay, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like, very low effort.
Right. That's kind of what I think the common man's faking your own death entails.
All right, so, like, whatever he did, right? He fakes his own death and he goes, I need a new life.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a rapist piece of shit, right? So he's not going to do anything to Chad. He's not like moving to
Nothing
fucking
daring.
Yeah, he's not going to like Belize and learning Spanish or anything.
Okay.
So he moves to the UK.
Okay, sure.
As you do.
Right, another English-speaking nation.
Nice and easy. You don't really have to learn much. And he picks up a little accent. Mm-hmm. Not a good one, but one.
Enough.
Yeah. And apparently he gets married.
Oh.
Yeah, he meets this woman, they fall in love or whatever, and he gets married.
Yep.
So he gets married, and then he gets COVID.
Oh, no. Well, you hate to hear that he has COVID.
Fuck him, he's a rapist.
Yeah, I know.
So he gets the COVID, and he goes to the hospital.
Sure.
And then he gets arrested.
Ah.
Now,
didn't do a good enough job faking his death.
So you probably know this more than anybody. You look at tattoos and everything, right? You got to identify, right?
Thing.
You take the pictures and everything, and they said, "Look, buddy, look, Arthur."
Yeah, if that is your name.
Your tattoos match up 1 for 1.
Yeah,
with because he'd been arrested before. It's not like they didn't have his shit in the system, right?
Right.
So they're like, "Look, man, your tattoos are the exact same, 1 for 1." Which is impossible.
Right.
And your fingerprints are the exact same. Which,
yeah.
Okay. You have them dead to rights.
If you had one or the other, it's enough.
Sure. But he doubles down. Because that's
you got the wrong guy.
Yeah. And he basically says, I'm not Nicholas Oliverian. I'm Arthur Knight.
Yeah. Of course.
To the point where he gives an interview to The Sun, which is a shit tabloid, like fucking paper or whatever. But
sure.
At one point during the interview, he goes, they think, and he's like breathing through an oxygen mask that he doesn't have on, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is, again, very cartoonish. And... like he does
flopping around his face.
He doesn't have the oxygen mask on, right? It's like not attached behind his ears. It's like just on there, right? And he talks like this because it's hard for him to breathe.
He's playing the "I'm so weak, how could I have hurt anyone" card.
Right. And at one point he goes, "I can't even walk." He goes, "Do you want to see me?" He goes, "I'll try to stand up right now."
Yeah.
And he stands up. Fine.
Yeah.
For half a second.
Okay.
And then he does the cartoonish thing of flailing his arm. He looks like a wacky wailing tube man, right? Wacky wailing inflatable arm flailing tube man. He looks like that.
Yep.
And then he falls back into his chair.
He just flops like a fish.
Yeah, he's like, see? See?
How could I be this infamous villain?
Right. I can get up, but as soon as I do, I become a wacky waving
fish out of water and I fall apart.
Yeah. And, his wife is just like, why are you doing this to him? Yeah.
Can't you see he's an innocent man?
And they're like, well, the news reporter doesn't let up either. They're just like, well, what do you say to people that think these are crocodile tears? And he starts not crying but crying, and he goes, "That's a right low blow."
It's a right low blow, isn't it?
So that's
him a fall.
Yeah, he's just such a piece
of shit. Like a really terrible, like tacked on accent.
Yeah, like he's watched like 2 or 3 BBC shows.
He just got through the entire Harry Potter series, and he's just trying to fucking make it work.
I don't want to veer off topic, but there's this thing in Harry Potter that's been swimming around my brain for the last couple of days.
Okay, go ahead, hit me with it.
Do you remember in the Goblet of Fire?
Okay, a little throwback. What about it?
You saw the Goblet of Fire, though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Remember at the end when Cedric Diggory, a.k.a. the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
Yep.
Dies, and then they get transported back to
the
thing, right? His body's just there. And then you have his father Like he lays eyes upon his son.
His dead son.
Right, and he just has this outpouring of emotion. He's like, my boy.
Yeah.
And it's like A-tier acting, right?
Yep.
And then you have Daniel Radcliffe close out the fucking movie with, he's back. Voldemort's back.
Gotta give him grace. Child
It's
actor.
not. It's like, it goes like D-tier. Like you're having this moment, right?
A father grieving
he's
his
like
dead child.
and he's just giving his all, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, holy shit, I feel this.
Yeah, it's agony.
It is. And then you just have Danny Radcliffe.
Give him. He's a fucking child actor.
Yeah, but like they give you notes. They're like, all right, listen.
Like,
You're terrified. You just saw the man who killed your parents. He's materialized again. One of your friends has been murdered. His father is screaming.
I don't think he knew Cedric Diggory that well.
Well, enough. Like one of your classmates.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, one of your classmates.
He's from a different school.
Has been. No, he wasn't. Cedric?
Wasn't he from the other?
No, Cedric Diggory.
All right.
Look,
All right.
What, you really
Never
want to do this?
mind.
You got Flo Delacour.
Hey, look.
Okay.
I know.
Victor Crumb from Durmstrang.
Jesus, you know way too much about this.
I know. It's just part of the disease,
I shouldn't
dude.
have challenged you.
It's the
I'm
disease. It's the Bob Marley
sorry.
tale. Look, all I'm saying is they say this to this boy. They're like, look, this is very serious. Voldemort's back. All of your fears have been materialized. This man is screaming next to the body of his lifeless
Of his
son.
dead child,
This
yeah.
is the worst that
Rough.
it could be, right?
Yeah.
And you hear all that and you go, he's back!
He needs to let him know.
I know, but come on, bro. Oh, it's been swimming in my head for days.
Yeah, and then you have Arthur Knight watching all these and like, that's where I'm going to get
That's
more.
right, now, bro.
That's a right now blow.
Yeah. He's like, I can't stand up.
Taking the
Oh.
accent.
I hate him.
Yeah. What
I
a
hope
piece
he
of
gets.
shit.
So this happened a while back.
Extradite him and let it fucking be done.
It happened a while back, but the reason why he's popped up is he just gave that Sun interview.
Oh, really? Was
Yeah,
that
'cause-
recent?
Yeah, so they basically, the trial's still going on and everything, right? Because obviously shit takes time.
Yeah. Legal systems are
And,
crawl.
the Scottish government basically were like, dude, you're Nicholas Oliverian.
Yeah, we already know this.
Like, we're going to extradite you. So his master plan, like in all his
It all
wisdom,
fell apart.
You know what it is he thinks he's smart. He's one of those guys that is of
Yeah.
average intelligence who thinks he's smart.
Yep. Or he's one of these people of below average intelligence.
Who thinks he's of
think they're
average
smart.
intelligence. No, he just thinks he's smart, right? Like, he's not like, I'm average. He's like, I'm a genius.
Like, it's a weird thing with, without going too much into my own line of work,
Sure.
a lot of criminals tend to think they're the smartest person in the room.
But
And
then
like,
why are they in jail?
and this is coming from, like, me, I'm like,
Do you know who the smartest
if you were to
people in
fucking
the
look at the
room?
bell curve, I live at that fucking peak. I'm a very
No,
average person.
you're on the peak down. We've done the thing.
We've done the thing, yeah.
Yeah, the
There's
thing
a
says,
thing.
there's a thing that says you're
Sure.
on the peak down.
But
Like in a good way.
Like-
you want to be on the down.
all of these types of people have the same sort of like.
But I don't.
They just think that they're really
is
smart.
that just narcissism?
I don't know.
Because you're in jail, you got caught. So there's someone smarter than you that caught you. Because if you were so smart,
I don't think they see it that way.
how do they see it? Fate. I was just unlucky.
It's unlucky is the big part of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, life's a game. They had a bad dice roll, and now it's fucking. Oops, got caught.
Yeah, that's not real.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. We're getting
So they-
fucking.
All right.
We're getting caught in the weeds
I
here.
know. All right. Let's move on a little
Fucking
bit.
been on. Got me fucking on Harry Potter. Fucking Victor Crumb.
Victor
Shut
Crumb and Arthur Knight.
All right.
Arthur Knight is actually a Harry Potter. He's going to be in the fucking HBO remake.
It's gonna be in that one. All right.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. He's like one of the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers or something. All right. Let's talk about another thing that's going on.
Yeah, some more recent events.
Yeah.
Hit me with it. What's up?
So Stephen Chowder. My boy Stephen Chowder.
Yeah, Stephen Chowder. That's the guy.
What do you mean?
Not to slander any actual fucking Stephen Chowder out there. You talking about You talking the guy, the fucking...
Wait, what is his name? Not Chowder?
No. Fucking...
What's his name?
Yeah, Steven Crowder. He's the fucking...
Wait, his name is seriously not Chowder?
You're talking about the fucking guy who got in trouble for the domestic abuse shit?
Yeah, like he's always been like very like, I live by Christian values. I'm a
Yeah, the whole fucking talk show podcast type thing he did.
Yeah, and it was always like very... You know, there was like misogynistic vibes.
Yeah.
But he always like covered it up with he's like, I'm very godly.
Yeah, he covered it up with that. It's all a joke. Don't be so sensitive type fucking guys. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
So he's on video basically berating his pregnant wife.
Very visibly pregnant wife.
She's on the verge of tears. Like you can see, like if you've ever seen an abusive relationship, right?
And like, look. For people who are married to, like, maybe trigger warning, because it can be an upsetting topic.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's a fucking...
Oh, he's a piece of...
mess.
Just to be clear, fuck him. I'm going to start there. Fuck Steven Chowder, Crowder, Powder guy.
Yeah.
Fuck him. But if you've ever seen an abusive relationship, it's almost textbook.
I will say, though, if you don't have... On the thumbnail of this one, him holding a bowl of chowder, I will be upset.
Yeah, I will. I'll throw that in there. Because, you know, it's just she clearly cares about him.
Oh, yeah. No, it's an upsetting video because she's not
doing anything.
Arguing with him.
No, and it's
not,
like...
I don't know what their agreement initially is about. She is literally just being like, hey,
I gotta go.
I need space.
Yeah, I just need a little time to breathe.
Right.
I'm
really
just
upset.
Sitting in his fucking... You know, on his couch outside like a cunt.
Yeah. And he's like, no, you can't fucking go.
Talking a mile a minute.
Right. He's like, how he's really the victim if she takes the car to fucking be away
like
from the situation
just trying
for a minute.
To do what he does on his podcast and shit to his wife.
Right.
And I think where he fails on that is like, bro, she's with you 20. Like she knows.
This person knows you.
Right. You can't use your tricks.
Right.
To this person.
You're trying to play some weird debate club fucking bullshit.
She's not debating with you. She's like, look.
This is your fucking partner.
You put a baby in me, so we're linked now, and I'm trying to make this work, but you're being a fucking asshole.
Right. But whatever. Yeah, exactly. Whatever's happened prior to this, like, I'm very upset. I need time. And hey, look, not to fucking like it just is what it is, especially in that kind of situation. Stress can be incredibly bad for a pregnant woman's health.
He doesn't care about that.
Yeah, that's because he's an asshole. He's a piece of shit.
Right. He's just another grifter who fucking, you know, it's just getting old. You know, to see these fucking...
It's been old, but yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But it's just like, it's nice to see him get his comeuppance, and I hope she's able to, like, really break away and, like, you know, live her life or whatever, because he is just a black hole.
Yeah.
And you know how you know he's a black hole? Is that everyone has abandoned him.
Seriously, yeah. Like...
That's what it is like when everyone abandons you, it's you.
Right. And like, look, I don't have too much exposure for like the guy's shit, but like even just that video of him, you can tell no one wants to be around a fucking person like that.
Can you imagine like going out?
Everything becomes about him, and he's the fucking actual victim of this situation.
Like we go out for drinks or something, and it just becomes... You know, whatever it is, something triggers, and then it just turns into this tirade.
Right. He sees something that upsets him, and he has to let the world fucking know about it.
Yeah. It's like a gay couple or a trans couple.
Right,
like,
right.
That's always his trigger.
Someone
shit.
Going out and living their own fucking life.
Right. Just not even interacting with him. They're just out at the same bar.
Right. And he would have a meltdown and have to fucking lament how this is the fucking fall of man.
Western society, yeah. Like it's Babylon
all
all over again.
Right. His fucking ideal worldview isn't fucking shared by every other human on Earth.
And it's like, and then when like you say like, hey man, chill, we're just trying to have a good time tonight. Right. He turns on you. Like that's who he is.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah, that was a fucking aggravating video. I just saw that one really recently too.
It was sad. Like I watched and I was like, she is in a that is a
right.
that is
you
a
feel
toxic
a lot of
abusive, because she does. You can tell you know what it is? You can tell she cares about him and he doesn't care about her.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it too. Like, she's trying to salvage something from this.
But he's a psychopath.
But yeah, he doesn't care. He'll just continue fucking stomp it down and fucking make it impossible.
Right, but he's a true like, that's what a psychopath is.
Right.
Is like, you've convinced someone to love you without ever feeling anything for them.
Right, because you just don't give a fuck.
No, they're all just toys to you. All right.
Yeah, that was a fucking weird one, dude.
Yeah.
It ain't good. I hope, because I think...
Oh, he's pretty done, I think.
Yeah, no, he
went on.
Didn't he make some sort of statement like he doesn't think that you should be able to divorce your partner without their consent?
Something like that. And then he came on and he's like, then he tried to backpedal because his PR team finally got involved and they were like, he was like, my wife and I are going through a divorce. It's, please respect our like this fucking bullshit.
Please respect our privacy after everything that's already come out.
I've ruined this woman's psyche, but please respect our privacy.
Right. This is a matter of my privacy, guys. I'd really appreciate it.
My privacy.
I'd appreciate it if you don't pry into all the depraved, evil shit I'm doing.
Yeah. He's like Chowder that's been left in the sun.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Jesus.
All right. I want to talk about one more.
All right.
And again, this is why my mental health is struggling, because all of this shit just does, like the Chowder thing, I will say is the realest thing that's happened.
Yeah, that's believable.
But Arthur Knight doesn't seem real.
No.
And this seems even less real. So I don't know if you're familiar with a small company named Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
Oh, you've heard of them? Yeah,
I have a fucking Dungeons and Dragons tattoo on my arm. Okay. No, I've never heard of them.
So they produce obviously Dungeons and Dragons. They also have
Magic the Gathering,
small card game, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, fucking real small fucking project.
I don't know if you know. Well, you obviously know because we're in this business now. But a lot of times what they'll do is for like influencers or podcasters or YouTubes and stuff, they want to give people stuff early so they can make videos, and then, it generates excitement.
Sure. Oh, I know the situation. Yeah, I'll let you lead in.
Right. I want to explain it to our audience that doesn't know. So Wizards of the Coast sent a YouTube creator, a box of Magic cards.
Yeah. I now here's the thing. I don't know if we're talking about this, I don't know if they sent him the cards or if he acquired them through like a local store that got a miss shipment or whatever. Right,
but it was shipped from wherever it came from, right?
Right.
It was shipped from Wizards of the Coast.
Yep, and it was not what he had intended to purchase.
Right. So he had in his hands basically a set that's unreleased.
Yep.
It's coming out.
Yeah, he had a set of it before any of it had yet been revealed.
Right. And so, and again, this is where it gets a little tricky because the details are not there. Mm-hmm. I assume someone maybe he made a video. Is that what it was? He made a video?
That's what it is, yeah.
And then someone contacted him.
And look, give him a little shout out here because he was recently a victim of this bullshit. Old School MTG on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Check him out.
That's our guy.
If you like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, if you're into the whole game and all that and you want to fucking show this guy some support after this bullshit, go ahead.
So he's just doing his thing, right? He in the eyes of the law, he acquired this legally.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
He was given this product.
So if I'm Wizards of the Coast, right?
Yep.
If I'm a normal person making decisions.
Sure.
I probably go, let's reach out to him. Let's ask him not to do any more.
Right. As soon as he made a video, he showed the cards ahead of time.
Like, hey, look, we haven't even done our press circuit. As a thank you, we'll give you, the entire set or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, hey, we fucked up. Let's make it right.
Yeah. Please don't show us any more of that.
Right. But at the same time, it's just it's equivalent to a leak.
It is, yeah.
Right. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, yeah. Look, they probably do have some action where they could say, "Hey, look, that's our intellectual property. It's before its market release."
Sure.
They could probably file some sort of.
They could file a copyright claim.
Or copyright claim, yeah. But that's it. And you know what? They shouldn't even go to that step without doing the prior steps, like you said, saying, "Hey, could you please not? Here,
right.
let's
and
offer
if that
product.
happened, right? If that happened to like us,
Yep.
and then they reached out to us, I want to build a relationship with them now. So
Right.
like, yeah, no worries.
Oh yeah, definitely done. Yeah, probably where this would have ended.
Right. But they didn't take that route.
No,
because as we know, Wizards of the Coast does completely rational things.
Yeah. After their fucking debacle with the open game license a few months ago, they
like,
learned
yeah, you know that thing?
absolutely
you know
nothing.
that thing's been in place for 25 years. Like, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
So their response to this, right?
Yeah.
Was to go full Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, they sent mercenaries to his house, but not just any mercenaries.
Possibly the second most famous mercenaries.
Yeah.
And that would be
the old Pinkertons.
The Pinkertons.
Yeah.
When I heard that.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about your reaction to that.
This is why my mental health is struggling, because I was like, there's no...
Those are still a thing.
When you say it out loud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pinkertons went to go retrieve some playing card.
So, this guy's trading cards.
What? Like the exposure I have with the Pinkertons is from like the 1800s.
Yeah, them busting up unions and shit.
It is the weirdest thing. It is probably weirder than the Arthur Knight shit.
That one's a very surreal one. Because
I know, but if you said to me like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm waiting for Arthur Morgan to show up and just be like, those damn Pinkertons took my Black Lotus." Like, I don't.
Right.
Like, your response is to send the Pinkertons.
Right. And so, like, the Pinkertons arrive, the old Pinkerton agency that they have nowadays.
It's like more than one person, too. They go to his house, I assume.
Yeah. So, I've read extensively on this one.
Yeah,
so they come... They immediately start throwing around threats of like, oh, you're going to pay, it was some extravagant amount, like $200,000 in fines. You're going to spend like 3 years in jail or prison fucking over this. They're throwing around like threats like that to his wife. They get this YouTuber's wife upset. She's crying. He fucking
they're bullying,
finds out what happens.
His wife.
Right. He comes, he tries to find out what's going on. They're throwing similar threats. Now, here's the thing. She had opened the door to them. They're, like, not letting him close the door.
What does that even mean?
And, like, they try to step into his house.
You could probably shoot someone.
Yeah, he basically says, like, hey, don't do that. Like, I'll get the police involved. Don't enter my home.
Let me tell you something. Say what you want, but, like... If the Pinkertons show up at my house and try to step in it, I'm going to fuck them.
You're going to fuck a Pinkerton?
Yeah. I'm either going to kill him or fuck him. I'll give him the choice.
You got to change your name and try fucking fake your death?
No, because it's totally legal.
To fuck a Pinkerton?
Well, I mean, if I fucked him, like, I gave him a choice, though. That's me being kind.
Yeah, it's an act of mercy.
Yeah. Like, so, look, man, either you can die right now or present your asshole.
Sounds a lot like rape.
You can't just enter. They're not a government agency.
No. They're fucking mercenaries.
If you work for the Pinkertons, you can never work for the United States government. That's literally in the code.
They're fucking wild, dude.
Dude, it's...
So... Just to get the story.
So they try to force their way in.
And
he said, I'm going to call the cops.
Right.
And then so they backed off.
They backed off.
Yeah.
He talks to him outside.
Sure.
And they're like, hey, look. We're going to get those cards.
No, you're not.
You don't want to spend years in prison.
I won't.
And so... He allowed the Pinkertons to retrieve the cards.
He caved?
Yeah. I mean,
again... There was probably a lot of Pinkertons.
They got probably...
It's so fucking
again,
stupid.
At the end of the day, Wizards of the Coast probably could have got their cards back through legal means, but, like...
Like, maybe.
Because here's the thing. They reimbursed him for the value of the cards.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He bought them, right?
I know.
At a store. I don't think, like, that's the thing is I don't think they could get them back.
Without going too deep into my own personal beliefs. Look, the corporations pull the strings, dude. If you have the money, you make things happen. I know.
If you want to do it like that, I'm just saying from like a public... Look, here's what's wild.
Yeah, in a fair world, would they get their cards back?
Wild.
No, but...
I don't know who's... Like, who owns Wizards of the Coast?
Hasbro.
Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. If I'm a Hasbro executive... You should probably look into who's running Wizards of the Coast, right? Because if their reaction to a leak is to hire the fucking Pinkertons.
Well, here's my thing. So, okay, I told you I did a lot of reading on this.
Yeah.
Their, I think it's like Wizards of the Coast's like chief security officer or whatever.
Yeah.
Worked at the Pinkerton agency.
So he's just
previously.
Doing his boys a favor.
Yeah, he's in, and so they have them on contract for incidents like this.
Here's the problem, though, is just the optics of it.
Well, yeah,
it's just the optics. Like it does. Like here's the thing: if you hire the Pinkertons for anything today,
yeah, you look like the bad guy immediately.
Right, you immediately look like the oil baron.
Like you could just be like, hey, there's a fucking... this little boy lost his puppy. We need someone to help find it. Let's hire the Pinkertons. And they're like... You're like, you look like the fucking bad guy.
He probably killed that puppy and buried it, and he's just trying to cover his tracks.
Right. You can't win this way.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody go, oh, I love the Pinkertons.
Oh, the Pinkertons? Great people. Yeah.
Oh, those Pinkertons, man. Solid ilk.
I think the majority of people assumed they did not exist anymore.
Well, the thing of it is this, right? Is that I didn't know they existed.
No, I didn't until...
I thought they had gotten wiped out in like the 1800s, or like the early 1900s.
Right. Just became irrelevant in some way, shape, or form and just left, yeah.
But the thing of it is, right, is that you can't take the villains from Red Dead Redemption 2 and have them bully someone to give back trading cards.
Apparently you can, yes.
What I'm saying, though, is that like the optics on that are so
not
insane.
Good. Yeah.
Like, oh, how does Wizards of the Coast deal with their shit? We hire the Pinkertons.
Yeah, well, they have them on contract. That's a thing.
It left me almost speechless.
Yeah.
So...
apparently this isn't the first time they've even used them.
Did you ever see Deadwood?
No, I didn't.
Just imagine like Wizards of the Coast owning like one of the fucking bars of the casinos in Deadwood, and they're just like, bring in the Pinkertons. They call them up. They ride in on horses.
It's like one of those old-timey fucking... Those old fucking tables they'd be playing fucking poker on.
There's like a dude playing the piano.
All the dudes have cowboy hats on, but they're playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it's just Magic the Gathering. Like, you still got to walk through the fucking doors, too.
A bunch of grizzled old dudes fucking got the 6 shooters on their laps and shit.
Yeah.
The Pinkertons roll in.
Dude, it doesn't seem real.
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre.
That's the weirdest headline I've read in a while.
Yeah, that's probably the fucking peak.
Local man is threatened by the...
to give up his Magic the Gathering
cards. Magic the Gathering. Oh. Like, if the Pinkertons have sunk that low where they're going to retreat, like, it's don't invest in them.
Yeah, they're in a weird spot. That's fucked.
It's just incredible to me.
Yeah, we live in a weird fucking world, man.
All right, with that, let's put this one to bed.
Yeah. That's a good closing point.
What do you got going on?
Oh, you know me. I'm on the TikTok. I'll upload something every fucking 6 months. You can find me at Partially Proficient. We got 10th edition of the old Warhammer 40K coming out. That's my content.
Getting excited about that?
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of painting projects coming up, so hopefully my upload schedule gets a little bit more active.
Rad. All right, Paul, as always, love having you on. Little kiss.
Little kiss.
So you guys know where we're at. CatalystCrafting.com is the main website. Catalyst Creations NH is the Etsy store. We're going to be at Double Midnight in Manchester, New Hampshire on May 6th for their free Comic Book Day / Comic Con. We'll have a booth there. We're going to be selling some stuff that's not available on the web.
Oh, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, I better see you people.
Yeah, so if you're local, come on by. Come say hello. And what do you guys think? I mean, have you seen Evil Dead or The Offering? Did you decide to buy Bramble and the Mountain King? Do you agree with me? Do you think it's like one of these indie gems? Where do you land on Arthur Knight? Is it Nicholas Oliverian or is it a case of mistaken identity?
Do you eat the Steven Chowder?
And do you hire the Pinkertons for did your neighbor run over your grass and the only way to get them back is to hire the Pinkertons?
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments, and all right, crew, catch you on the next one.